Well, hello there. I'm going to go with a different field today. We're going to go with Galaxy for Endgame. Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's going to be As Guardians of the... Oh, maybe that's a spoiler. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But they don't even know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. You wouldn't know what I'm talking about. You'll get it later. All right. So it says determine which of the following triangles, right triangle. Okay. So clearly I cut something off because that doesn't make sense. So this is number one from the practice test. I'm going over the some problems that people may have. I'm not going over everything because some of these problems are easy and you should be able to get them. And if you don't understand them, then you should send me a message or see me in the morning, early in the morning. Since it's a Friday in 2019, you can come in for tutoring if you really don't understand it, but whatever. I'll be here. All right. So if this is a right triangle, then it will satisfy the equation a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. That means that when you substitute them in, we will get a Pythagorean triple. Yeah, buddy. So we're just basically saying is 6 squared. It's very important to check the sides. Equal to 10 squared. It looked like a cube squared. It's supposed to be squared. All right, is 6 squared plus 8 squared equal to 10 squared? Well, 6 squared is 36, and that's 64. 10 squared is 100. 36 plus 64 is 100. So this works. We know that I works. That's a Pythagorean triple. All right, and then we're saying is 5 squared plus 12 squared equal to 13 squared. All right, 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. And is that equal to 13 squared, which is 169? All right. Well, that seems to be the case. 25 plus 144 is 169. Yes, 2 works. We come over here, we'll say it's 4 squared plus, and it's important that we use the longest side as our hypotenuse because that's what the longest side is. 16 squared is that equal to 17 squared. 4 squared is 16 plus 16 squared is 196. And is that equal to 17 squared, which is 289? As we can see that 6 and 6 don't make a 9. So clearly you're out. You don't work. And then we see if 9 squared, A and B doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you put A and B. It don't matter where you put them as long as you make them legs. The order of the legs do not matter. So we're saying it's 81 plus 144 equal to 225. Well, that's a 5 and that's a 2 and that's going to carry that over. Yes. So 1, 2, and 3 work. They are Pythagorean triples. You wonderful. Okay, then we're moving on to the next problem. Oh, dang, I did that one already. I gotta pause the tape. Not this. This ain't a tape. That's like 1990. All right, number 6 says find the perimeter of the rectangle in the diagram. So the perimeter is the distance around or the outside distance. So we have to go around the shape. So I know if I'm looking for a perimeter of this rectangle, I know this is 24. I'm just gonna set my life up for success. So I know the 2 times 24 plus 2 times whatever this right here is. And how do we figure that out? We use the Pythagorean theorem. So we will know that I'm going to say A is equal to, if you're in somebody else's class and watching this video, then I gave them a shortcut that A is equal to C. I'm just going to write it out for people that might be watching this. The square root of C squared minus B squared. You know, if you just want A, you're just going to take the square root of C squared minus B squared. And you get A is equal to 25 squared minus 24 squared. And you put all this to your calculator because that's exactly what I'm over here pressing now. Square root of 25 squared minus 24 squared. And that gives us 7. So this is a 7. And this is 7. So we're saying 2 times 24 times plus 2 times 7 is going to give me my perimeter. 2 times 24 is 48. And then 48 plus 14 is going to give me 62, which is my answer is A. All right. This one was hard. I put this on the quizzes, and yeah. So, I forgot. Well, that's all right from the problem. I worked this out earlier just to make sure that I can break this down and show y'all what I was talking about. All right. So I am whatever you'll understand. I'm gonna label everything. It says in the rectangular prism, PQ is a diagonal. All right, PQ is a diagonal. Find the length of PQ given that PR is 7. That's PR right there. RS is 4. And then this is not in galaxy. I got to make it galaxy. We got to convert it. And then QS is 4. So if we're trying to, let me get my little highlighter on. Let me get my little highlightation on. I think this is really thick. Yeah, I got to unthicken this. This highlighter has to lose a little weight. Lose a little weight. Lose a little weight. Lose a little weight. So I'm going to say for extra credit, what did the highlighter do? And you will say the highlighter had to lose a little weight. So if you write the highlighter had to lose a little weight at the top of your test, you'll get 2 points. The highlighter had to lose a little weight. Okay, the highlighter had to lose a little weight. All right. In the rectangle, whatever. I just read the problem. So I'm looking for PQ, which is right here. Right there. And so in order to find that, it still need to lose a little weight, y'all. This is still too thick. Come on now. Got to slim you down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All right. PQ is right here. All right. That's like perfect. All right. And so in order to find that, that's a diagonal. It's a diagonal of what? Well, clearly it doesn't look like it's connected to a triangle right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it connected to a triangle. And so if I say, hey, I'm going to make, maybe I should make this a different color. Well, it's galaxy. It's going to change colors. All right. So I'm going to say, hey, you're going to be a triangle. Hold up. Don't play me now. Don't play with my emotions. You're going to be a triangle. All right. You're going to be a triangle. Well, if you're a triangle, and I know that this is a rectangular base, then I need to find you right here. All right, my little pen tool is acting weird. I need you to stop. All right, thank you. All right, so I need to find you. Well, in order to find you, you're the diagonal of this triangle. Let me pick a different color. Let's just be plain. Let's be plain for once. All right, you're the diagonal of this triangle right here, right? So I know this is a rectangle. So even though this is at a slant, I know it's a rectangle because it says a rectangular prism. So this has to be a right angle. So I need to find this triangle. I'm going to take this triangle and put it over here. It's the green triangle. Green triangle. So I need to find the diagonal of that triangle. So I know that this side right here, QS is 4. That means that this down here is the same thing. So you have to be 4. You're the right angle right here. You have to be 7. And so the Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm basically saying the square root of, I'm saying c is equal to the square root of 4 squared is 16 plus 7 squared is 49. 16 plus 49 is going to give me, what's that? 85. 65. What am I talking about? 85. Square root of 65, which is 1 point away from 64, so it's approximately 8. So C has to be 8. So this right here is 8. Well, let's dig out the cosmic triangle. Cosmic triangle. So if the cosmic triangle says that right there, don't disappear, buddy. Stay there. All right. And then this is joined to it. Come on, computer. Don't act weird on me. All right. And then this bottom. Oh, my gosh. This bottom side. We're doing a little lacking today. And I'm not trying to be here forever. I know y'all got things to do. I have a life too. All right. So this bottom side right here is 8. That's what we found down here. I might have to pause this in order for this thing to get it right. Get his life together. It's not doing what I wanted to do. All right, so this bottom is 8, and then I know this side right here is 4, and then I need to find QP. which is this right here. Can you please just do what I want you to do? All right, so I need to find that QP. So now I use the Pythagorean theorem again. So C. Let me pause this, y'all. All right, so I think I had too many tabs open. So back to what I was saying. So this length right here is, it was just acting right. And now, all right, that's your Q up here. And so this is your P right here. This is going across. And so in essence, we need to find this QP. And so we use the Pythagorean theorem. It just basically says that C is equal to the square root of 4 squared, which is going to give me 16, plus 8 squared, which is going to give me 64. And then 16 plus 64 is going to give me 80. So the square root of 80 is very close to 81, which is going to be around 9. All right, so you had to build in the actual leg, because without it, you know, it'll be really hard to find out what QP is. That's the hardest question, but yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Okay, let's find the sum of the lengths of the segments EF and CD. So EF and CD, we could use the distance formula, but nobody's gonna use the distance formula when you can just draw a right triangle for the Pythagorean theorem. So EF and CD, so from A is going to be C is going to be equal to the square root of, this is 1, 2, 3, so 3 squared, which is 9, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 squared, which is 81. And then the square root of 9 plus the square root of 81 is the square root of 90. Now notice that none of these are in decimals. They're all in radical form. So we're going to keep that in that radical form. So EF is equal to the square root of 90. And now let's find CD. All right. So from here down, that's 2. And then over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So CD is equal to the square root of 4 plus 36, which is equal to the square root of 40. So if we add those together, all right, so I know y'all don't know this, but even if you say, you know, I don't know any of these aspects, which one is 90 plus 40? It's 130, okay? So we treat this like they're variables. They're numbers. We're just adding the square root of 90 plus the square root of 40, which is going to give you the square root of 130. So the answer is C. Square root of 90 plus the square root of 40 equals the square root of 130. And even if you didn't know that, you could have said, all right, if you turn those into numbers and see which one adds to the number that we have, we would have been correct. Parallelogram has vertices, blah, 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 blah. How long is AC? Draw a picture. Parallelogram can be a rectangle. It can be the ones with the slant. I'm just going to draw a rectangle because, you know, it's just easy to draw. All right, this is A, this is B, this is, going in order matters, C, and this is D. Don't go from B and then put C down here. Don't put C there. Go in order. A, B, C, D. Go around. Do not put C there. That's a no-no. All right, so how long is AC? They're basically saying, yeah, well, how long is this diagonal? So you can use the distance formula. If you want to use my little shortcut that I was trying to show y'all about slope, you can. That's what I'm going to use. So I know that I'm going to use these 2 points right here, A and C. So I'm going to do the y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So I know 6 minus 1 is 5, and then 4 minus negative 2 is 6. So that's 5 over 6, which is saying like this is rise over run. That's basically what we just found, just the difference. And then we can just square these and add them together. 25 plus 36 is equal to the square root of 61. C. Now we could have did the distance formula, which is going to be d is equal to the square root of x sub 1 minus x sub 2 squared plus y sub 1 minus y sub 2 squared. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1, same difference. All right, so but that's what I did with that. I just did it a different way, but both ways work. All right, so the point 2, -3 is on the circle whose center is 6, 0. Find the radius of the circle. Draw a picture, people. So the point 2, -3 is on the circle whose radius, whose center is 6, 0. So the center of the circle is 6, 0. And then 2, -3 is on the circle. So we're going to say that point, it doesn't make sense to be 2, -3, whatever. We're just going to put it right there, 2, -3. All right, find the radius. So they're basically saying find the distance. That's all they're saying to do. Now, of course, it will not go straight across like that because it would imply that we would count. So my picture is really sucks, but it gets to the point to what we're trying to do. So we're finding the distance. I'm just going to use my little slope shortcut. I'm going to say 0 minus -3 because I'm just finding the difference between the x's and the y's. And then 6 minus 2. That's plus 3. So that's 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. I'll just square those and add them together. So 9 plus 16 is going to give me 25. And then the square root of 25 is 5. I did square root up here. Make sure I took the square root in this last problem. Yeah, I did. All right. Circle O has a center, go away, drop box. Circle O has a center of 7, -3. So I'm going to draw a circle. Circle O has a center of 7, -3. 7, -3 is the center. That's a bad circle, but y'all get the point. The diameter AB and diameter AB. Oh, I read it like it was another part of the sentence. The coordinates of A are -2, 4. All right, we're going to say that's -2, 4. What are the coordinates of B? So we know that if this is the diameter, it's going to go through the circle. Okay. And we're going to say B is over here somewhere. All right. You could switch sides, whatever, it didn't matter. So we know that the midpoint formula, because this was the center, is the midpoint. This is the midpoint. We know that the midpoint formula says that, I'm going to write this small over here, that x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2 is going to give you the x midpoint. So you take the endpoints. This is an endpoint, because this is where people were getting confused on my quizzes. This is an endpoint. All right, and then you take y sub 1 plus y sub 2 and divide it by 2, and it gives you your y midpoint. This is the midpoint. Midpoint. All right, people, if you understand that, then we're just going to substitute what we know. This is an endpoint. This is an endpoint. This is a midpoint, the x midpoint. This is the y midpoint. So when you put this in, put it in correctly and then solve. There's another way to do this, but I'm not even going to show y'all the easy way because y'all so stuck on easy ways. But I just need y'all to understand the process of substitution. Baron came up to me, and then I think somebody in third block came up to me and showed me the easy way, but I'm not sharing it with y'all. All right, so endpoint x sub 1. That'll be -2. I'm gonna run out of room. I'm gonna have to come down here. So that's -2 plus the x endpoint of something, this order pair right here. This would be x sub 2, y sub 2. What we don't know. All right. So that you got the -2 plus the x order pair that we don't know. I'm just gonna leave it as x over 2 is equal to the midpoint. They gave us the midpoint. So we solve this. We multiply both sides by 2. We get -2 plus x is equal to 14. We add 2 to both sides. We get x is equal to 16. Well, there's two 16s, so you're out. You're out. Get y'all lives together. And then we come down here and do the same thing for the y. So we know that the y coordinate, one of the y coordinates of the endpoint is 4. And then we don't know the other y coordinate. And then we know that's over 2 is going to give us the midpoint of -3. multiplied by positive 2. We get 4 plus y is equal to negative 6. Subtract 4, we get y is equal to negative 10. All right, 16 negative 10 is our answer. Woohoo! We're almost done. Is this like the same type of problem? If the diameter of a circle has endpoints negative 3 and 5, and 5, 7, then what's the center of the circle? It's the middle of the circle. Now, it was destroying my life that y'all did not understand that a midpoint is cutting a segment in half. It's the middle, the midpoint, equal sections. Like, it was hurting my heart. All right, so let's, if this is a coordinate plane, we'll say 5, 7 is over here. 5, 7. All right, so that's 0, 0. I'm going over negative 3, and then, well, it doesn't really, it doesn't really help a lot. Negative 3, 5. All right, whatever. That doesn't help at all with making my point. But anyway, I'm gonna say this is going through the center. 5, 7, negative 3, 5. All right, and we want to find the midpoint. The midpoint formula. I'm not gonna finish this because y'all get the point. You just use the midpoint formula. Use this formula that I just used right here. Use this formula. Use this. Find that midpoint. You got the answers already. All right, great. And the last one. It's not the last one. Oh, the last one is gonna. Yeah. Oh, this video is longer than what I thought. Y'all probably speeding up the talk because it's 10:18, so I'm talking really slow. Whatever, you can speed it up. I don't care as long as you understand. You can even skip to the problems that you like. All right, the distance between the points. So I'm gonna actually use the distance formula right here for the distance so that y'all can see. So the distance formula is going to be equal to y sub 2 minus y sub x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And somebody said, but you put the x sub 1 first last time. It doesn't matter as long as you keep the same order. I know I never told y'all that, but I'm telling y'all that now. All right, so if I use this, if I say this is x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, if I put them into the formula, I'll say d is equal to x sub 2 is 2b minus x sub 1, 4b squared. Those are not x's, those are y's. My bad. So used to doing the y's first. But it's the x's first while I keep them there. My bad, y'all. So 3a minus 4a squared plus, extend my radical, 2b minus 3b squared. Well, 4a minus 3a minus 4a is basically a negative a squared plus 2b minus 3b is a negative b squared. And if you square negative a, you just end up with a squared plus a negative b squared is b squared. So d is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. Whoop, there it is. All right, and the last problem, the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 13. The length of the shorter leg is 7, less than the length of the longer leg. Find the length of the shorter leg. All right, so the length of the hypotenuse. So we got a right triangle here. The galaxy has been treating us well, right? And then the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 13. The length of the shorter leg is 7 less than, these legs look very similar, but whatever. It's not drawn, figure not drawn to scale. The length of the shorter leg is 7 less than the length of the longer leg. So we'll say you have the longer leg. Find the length of the shorter leg. Well, in order for us to do that, we must use the Pythagorean theorem. All right, so, depends on what you're looking at. I'm just going to use the famous a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So I have a squared to b. This is going to be my a. This is going to be my b. No, it doesn't matter. C matters. This is going to be my c. So I'm going to say that x squared plus x minus 7 squared is equal to 13 squared, which is c squared. All right, so x squared plus if you do not remember special products, then you need to come over here and FOIL this out twice. But if you remember special products, then you'll know that it's going to be X. I don't need this parentheses because some of y'all might get confused and try to do something crazy. So it's going to give you X squared. And then you're going to do X times -7, which is -7X. Multiply that by 2 gives you -14X. And then -7 squared is 49. Now, if you don't remember that, oh well, you know, you don't have to do it. Equals 169. And we tell you, we combine u. We get 2x squared minus 14x. And we're going plus, I'm just going to show all the work, is equal to 169. And then we subtract u from both sides. And we end up getting 2x squared minus 14x minus 120 is equal to 0. And this is where we can use the zero product property, right? All right. After we factor out a 2, because life becomes easier if we factor out a 2. Factor out a 2, we get x squared minus 7x minus 60 is equal to 0. And then factors of 60, that's going to add to give me -7. Ooh, I know that. One has to be 12, one has to be 5. So it's going to be x minus 12, and then x plus 5 is equal to 0. And then we get x can be 12, or x can be -5, and we know we can't have a negative side, so you're out. Who moved you? Oh, my video. How did it move? I don't know, y'all. And I can't even move it back. All right, whatever. -5, you're out. And so we end up getting x is equal to 12. So the shorter side, this is not the shorter side, y'all. That's 12. This is 12 minus 7. The shorter side is 5. B is equal to 5. That is the shorter side. All right, don't forget about the extra credit. You know, if you qualify for it, get your life together. This has been real. The highlighter has lost the weight. Another beast mode production. Have a great life. Do well on your test tomorrow. Make us proud.